All right, we want to get to the very latest on the story that we have been and will continue to follow for you since yesterday afternoon. An international incident just off the coast of Cuba. Here is what we know. Cuba said its military killed 4 Cuban residents of the United States who were on a speedboat that entered its territorial waters.
The Interior Ministry is calling it a, quote, foiled armed infiltration. The boat had 10 armed people on board.
The Department of Homeland Security and the U.S. Coast Guard are investigating.
And that speedboat, by the way, as you know, was registered here in Florida. So we do have team coverage for you live this noon as politics reporter Hatzel Vela is digging into who these people involved are and a possible motive.
But we want to begin this noon with Lorena Inclán, who is live in Marathon, really looking into that speedboat, Lorena, and where it came from.
Well, ladies, we just got a big update because in my hand right now I have an official police report from the Monroe County Sheriff's Office detailing a boat theft. And within that report, it has the same registration number of the boat that the Cuban authorities said in their press release. This is the first time that we get exact confirmation from official authorities here in the U.S. about a possible boat theft. Now, I'm looking through it right now as I'm here live with you. So this is something we just got before we went live with you all. But we know now, according to this, again, police report from the sheriff's office here in Monroe County, that this vessel was stolen out of Big Pine Key. The owner of that vessel reported it stolen, and it goes into great detail here about what he noticed and when. And he also names the person who he believes stole this vessel from him. That person is named as a suspect in this report. And I do want to read to you a brief part of the report because I think it's important that the owner of the vessel was asked by deputies who came to investigate about the person who he suspects stole the boat. And he told investigators that that person has family in Cuba, including 2 young daughters who are still there in the island. And he was also asked about if anything made him suspicious of the theft and how any last conversations went with that suspect. Now, the owner of the boat stated that the suspect was trying to get a large boat repaired with twin motors, which was having some issues, and that the owner of the boat that was stolen said that the suspect borrowed a trailer from him, which he put another large vessel and was trying to repair that as well. Now, again, these are details that I'm reading live with you for the first time about about new details about this exact vessel and how it came to end up there in Cuba. But we now know that that vessel, according to this police report from the Monroe County Sheriff's Office, was stolen here from the Keys, according to the owner of that boat. And we're working to gather more details on exactly what happened there. So as soon as we will head over to that location to see what other details we can find out. But this information just developing right now, right before going live with you. Back to the studio.
All right, Lorena, obviously a lot here to break down, and we continue to do that right now as our live team coverage continues for you. With more on those on board, we've been digging into all 10 people who were trying to connect with their families as well and learn more about who they are.
Politics reporter Hatzel Vela continues now with more details on this. Hatzel, what'd you find out?
So we're learning so much more about the individuals allegedly involved in this incident. First, the Cuban government had identified one of the 4 men who died. That man has been identified as Michel Ortega Casanova. Now, here's the list, though, of the men the Cuban government says are being detained. That's Amijail Sanchez Gonzalez, Leordan Enrique Cruz Gomez, Conrado Galindo Sariol, Jose Manuel Rodriguez, Castillo, I should say, Cristian Ernesto Acosta Guevara, and Roberto Ascorra Consuegro. These are the names of the men that we're talking about when it comes to those who are being detained. However, here is video of Roberto Ascorra Consuegro, which makes this whole story interesting from about 30 minutes ago. This is video in Miami. He showed us his driver's license as proof. Consuegra also gave us permission to air this video showing men practicing military-style actions with guns. This is also brand new video from a hospital in central Cuba in the province of Santa Clara, where the injured are reportedly being treated. Cuba's government says they seized assault rifles, handguns, Molotov cocktails, body armor, telescopic sights, and camouflage uniforms. Cuba's leader, Miguel Diaz-Canel, on social media said Cuba does not attack nor threaten. Cuba will defend itself with determination and firmness against any terrorist or mercenary aggression that seeks to affect its sovereignty and national stability. By the way, we're also hearing from Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who says the U.S. government is asking to access the detained on the island. Here's what the Secretary of State said.
Yeah, I'm not going to speculate on what the U.S. will do. What I'm telling you is that we're going to find out exactly what happened and who was involved, and then we'll make a determination on the basis of what we find out. And we're going to find out, but we're not going to just take what somebody else tells us. We're going to find out, and I'm very confident we will be able to know the story and be able to independently verify facts about it.
In that back and forth with reporters, Rubio said it was highly, and I quote here, highly unusual to see shootouts on open sea like that. He went on to say, when we asked about whether the U.S. government operation, if this was a U.S. government operation or if there were any U.S. personnel involved, he said no. Roxy, back to you.
All right, Hatzel, we're hearing from the Secretary of State. We're also hearing from other lawmakers from the state and local as well reacting this noon. We'll begin with Senator Rick Scott, who posted a statement on X that reads in part, quote, "We need a full investigation into this deeply concerning situation and to determine what happened. The communist Cuban regime must be held accountable." And Miami-Dade County Mayor Daniela Vincava also shared her thoughts on social, writing, quote, "We are calling for a full and immediate assessment and complete transparency so the facts are clear and those responsible are held accountable." Stay with us here on NBC6. As you just saw here off the top of the show, another new development here, and this story will continue to develop. We will have the very latest for you here on the air and across our digital platforms on NBC6.